hopefully right. And we're here, 9-10 people in the lobby. As you can see, not a big number, but that's what we have to deal with today. We have got our main competitive drivers and rivals in the lobby though. We have got Calicrest, Greenwich and Vettel Mercedes, the three championship contenders with 4 races to go. As I will tell you the championship standings in a second. Try Flatout on my browser here. Clearly not working. But yeah, Greenwich Beer leading the championship then by 11 points over Calicrest on the Toro Rosso. Every driver is out on track to start their flying laps in a bit. All 10 drivers. Really small grid here. We have got the 2 Ferraris, we have the 2 Toro Rossos, Calicrest and Ace Hasnen, and I think that's it from the rosters. We have got 1 Sauber, 1 Force India, 1 Red Bull, a McLaren, and Chururu in the Haas. So people starting their laps right now. We see Tom Killer here through the first corner and into the S's on the first sector. Pretty decent first sector, 25.4, pretty conservative. Unfortunately I cannot tell you the standings right now because my top is having an absolute mare. Yeah, everyone on a lap. As you can see, Tom Killer has got Chururu right in front of him. Chururu having some trouble here in the second sector. .37 by Calicrest sets the benchmark for the drivers to beat. A 34.077 by Tom Killer in the McLaren. 6 tenths slower than that is Chururu, as Alex Killer goes quicker with a 33.6, over a tenth and a half quicker than the Toro Rosso of Calicrest. So Alex Killer showing his pace in the first run yet again, but will he be able to carry on with his pace for the second run as well? Grangebier has put a uncompetitive lap in the board with a 40.4. He's currently on a second flying lap, down on his lap time on the first sector, but let's see what he can do on the rest of the lap. Hasnain, Warlock, very slow laps as well. Vettel, Mercedes and Chill Drive on a lap, I think, yeah. Both not having set a lap yet, but we'll see. We'll see what they can do, especially Vettel Mercedes has proved very strong. You can see he's 6 tenths up on his, I would imagine, invalidated lap time, but he's taking it quite cautiously here. In the first lap, Kingdom Martin has joined us again here. He'll be able to take part in the race, not qualifying. Chill Drive then on a flying lap. He's going to pass Robin right now. I think Alex Killer, Calicrest are all going to come back in the pits. Tom Killer though is carrying on, and this could be provisional pole at 33.7, 1,000 quicker than Calicrest, who comes back into the pits. So Tom Killer snatches the front row on the first run by 1,000. So let's see if anyone has any answer to that. Everyone's going to come back in the pits though. Tom Killer on another flying lap. He seems to be pushing a lot on the first run. Is he up? Yes, he is up on his lap time by 1.5 tenths almost. So he's on to beat Alice Killer here if he carries on with his pace and if he has enough fuel, which I think... No, he doesn't. He's just run out of fuel actually, I think. No, he hasn't actually. He's got enough fuel. I was just spectating Calicrest there, sorry. So Tom Killer has got just about enough fuel to burn for this lap, but let's see if his pace carries on for the second and third sector. So into the hairpin now. Let's see if he's still up on his time. No, he's not. He's lost 3.5 tenths on that sector alone, so he's now 2 tenths down. I would doubt that he'll be able to get it back up to in the third sector, so I think he'll be coming back to the pits, as if he does another lap he'll be tight on time for the second run. So Hasnain as well, he has to come back in the pits if he wants to do another lap. Ultra soft compound for everyone, as you can see. So everyone opting for the quickest tires, obviously 10 people. You're not going to be starting on a fresh one unless you don't actually set a lap. So Vettel Mercedes in the pit with no lap time set. This could be quite crucial here on the second run for Vettel Mercedes. If he invalidates his lap, he could be starting last. Same for Grenigsbier, he's pretty much last if Mercedes actually puts a lap time. So it's interesting for both Grenigsbier and Vettel Mercedes. Their rival Calicrest is in third. Reminding you that the championship standings are Grenigsbier first, 11 points behind him is Calicrest on the Toro Rosso, and then I can't actually remember the exact number, but I think a good 20 points back from Calicrest is Vettel Mercedes. So it's pretty tight in the top three. Technically, well, mathematically actually, Tom Killer could actually win the championship, but he's way too far back, about 50 points, so seems highly unlikely, but anything could happen. But obviously Mercedes, Groe and Kalec are our main championship rivals. We have got Zeta going out in the track, and Grenigsbier as well, I believe. So let's see what all these drivers can do on their second run. Can they improve? 1 minute. Hello Calicrest. Last race, Calicrest won his third race of the season in Japan, in a rainy Japan. So let's see if he can do the same here. Don't know the weather forecast for the race, but Vettel Mercedes is starting his flying lap. Let's see if this could be pole. So into the first corner, we're going to ride on board with the Sauber driver through the first corner, missing the apex, not taking any curb, so that probably cost him a bit of time. But let's see now into the S is very crucial to keep the momentum going. 1, 2, 3 and fourth corner now, a long right hander. Is he up on his lap? We're not sure. 25.2, I think that's pretty competitive on the first sector. He's got enough fuel for 2 laps, so looking pretty tidy so far. Pressure is on him though, so he's gonna have to put a lap in first to actually qualify high up. So let's see what he can do. But let's see what Calicrest and the other guys can do as well. So Calicrest just going out on the track now, so he'll not be able to do an in-lap and save his tyres. I'd say shave his tyres then. Warlock on a flying lap as well. Let's see what he can do on the first sector. Let's see then, 25.2 by Mercedes at 25.5 by Warlock, so almost 3/10 slower there. Vettel Mercedes may have lost the back end there. My standings have finally been opened, but they haven't been updated, so well, that's kind of awkward there. We don't actually have the standings for this race, but Vettel Mercedes around the final corner. Can he go on provisional pole? I don't think he can. It's a 34.1, so quite conservative first lap. He put a lap in the board finally, which puts him just behind Calicrest in 4th place, so 2nd row for him. Calicrest still on his out lap, so he's going to be pretty much crossing the line last, and probably best track conditions for him, so let's see if he's going to be the big winner on today's qualifying session. Took pole last week in Japan, I believe, but I'm not too sure on that. Grenadier, pressure's now on him, he's now last, and we got yellow flags. That's for Shield Drive actually. He spun in the S's, so first sector yellow flags, people have to watch out for that. But still, Alex Skiller is actually in provisional pole somehow. Warlock goes up into P4 now, so throws Vettel Mercedes off the first 2 rows. So let's see Mercedes, I think he was up on his lap time on the first sector around the hairpin. He's going to be up on the second sector as well. Yes, he is 5/10 quicker. This could be pole for Vettel Mercedes. Let's see in the third sector what can he do? Joruru and Warlock have both retired, so Warlock P4, Joruru P5. Let's see Calicrest, Mercedes, Alice Killer and Tom Killer and Grangebeer possibly could all take pole. So that's Mercedes first one on the second run to complete their lap around the final corner. This is probably going to be pole. Yes, it is by a country mile, 32.992. Mercedes on provisional pole by over 6 cents then from Alex Killer. Let's see what he can do. Calicrest on a lap as well, Tom Killer on a lap as well, so this could get quite feisty in the end. But let's see what Grangebeer is doing. He's up on his lap as well, but he has to improve by over 7 seconds here, so this will be interesting to see. Chill Drive cannot manage anything better than P9. Robin goes second quickest and with a 33.428, so 1.5 quicker than Alex Killer, who's currently on the third sector. Tom Killer around the hairpin. Let's see by how much he's up on his lap time on the second sector. 67 thousandths. That's only going to put him P3 ahead of Alex Killer if he doesn't improve. Calicristo around the final corner. Can he snatch pole from Vettel Mercedes? No, he cannot. He's not even going to improve on his lap time. So it's a 33.7. Alex Killer goes quickest with a 32.819. Unbelievable lap there from the Ferrari. He goes on provisional pole. Can Tom Killer improve on that lap around the final corner? I don't think he can. He's only going to remain P5. So amazing lap from Alex Killer. Puts him pole for round 16 here in USA. Very, very good lap. So here are your final classifications for the US Grand Prix. Round 17, pole has been taken by Alex Killer 150, followed very, very closely by Vettel Mercedes. Grenadier in third, Robin in fourth, fifth is Tom Killer, and Calicrest all the way down to P6, starting behind both of his rivals. Seventh is Warlock, very close to Calicrest. Hasning is eighth, Joruru in ninth, and Shield Drive only managing P10. Dry race according to Calicrest. Hello RJW videos. Lol, Chill Drive. So dry race but cloudy here in USA. This could get rainy towards the end, but from what we heard it's going to be dry, so I personally hope it's going to be dry for once. As for the last 3 or 4 races we've had raid in the third stint of the race, which pretty much ruined the race if I'm honest. So let's see what drivers can do. Hello John. Unlucky Calicrest, but I'm sure you're going to be bouncing back in the race. The formation lap is getting underway with Alice Killer leading the pack on the formation lap. Who would have thought Alice Killer could beat ZR Mercedes? So a lot of practice probably put in on this race, so you probably think that Alice Killer knows the strategy on this racetrack, so he's definitely going to be one to watch out for, getting pole by almost 2/10 over the rapid ZR Mercedes. So it's definitely a sign, a positive sign of things to come. Well, his teammate is all the way down in P7, so not only are qualifying his teammate, but he's got pole. So definitely good for Alice Killer. Probably proven that he's been way quicker than Warlock in the championship. He's obviously ahead of Warlock in the championship itself. But generally the two Ferraris got off to a great start, winning in China by Alice Killer, and then winning in Russia in the hands of Warlock Menier after an amazing strategy. But since then, I don't think they got many wins. I don't think they got any wins after that, and their championship has just been going dreadfully downhill after Spa, especially for Warlock. So it's too late now to respond. They're probably mathematically out of the championship fight after this race probably. So it's too late for them this season. Reigning champion cannot defend his crown. It's going to be between ZR Mercedes, Greenwich Beer or Calicrest, and they're all going to put on a show today. Whoever wins today, it's going to be a big step for the title, as there's just 11 points between Calicrest and Greenwich Beer. So big fight between these two drivers, and the showdown hopefully will go down to Abu Dhabi. But with the current form, Calicrest is showing amazing pace and amazing consistency. Greenwich Beer seems to be slower than him in the last races, but can this change in USA? Two drivers have joined us for the start of this race, round 17, and you have got Alice Killer and ZR Mercedes on the front row. Can Mercedes get a better start off the line? We'll have to wait and see. People readying up and revving up to 5 red lights for round 17. It's 5 lights and we're underway here in America. Alice Killer got off to a great start there. Renault smashes into Tom Killer, I believe that is, down to P6. Calicrest goes down the inside. Alice Killer defends his lead. ZR Mercedes and Greenwich side by side. Can Greenwich regain P2? No, he can't. ZR Mercedes up into P2. Greenwich stays in third. Calicrest in P4 after starting in P6. And now Hasnan, I think, is spun. A big crash there in the background. Hasnan is down to last place. And I think Robin got caught up in an incident as well. Warlock down to P11. He's championship has just got even worse. Robin in the gravel. So Warlock, Robin and Hasnan, I believe, all in a crash. So very hectic start here. Kingdom Martin all the way up into P8. Oruru left a couple of plays into P9. Calicrest and Tom Killer very close to each other. Calicrest defends P4 for the time being, and ZR Mercedes is not too far off P1 as well. So it's going to be an interesting race with the current order. Alice Killer, Mercedes, Greenwich and Calicrest the top 4. Tom Killer very close to Calicrest as well. Everyone starting on Ultra Softs except Maledictus and King Don. So interesting strategy by these two, starting on the super soft tire. They are going to take them longer than anyone else. So Maledictus now up into P7 and Joruru down to P8, although they're nowhere near each other. I don't know how that happened. Maledictus is in a McLaren, he's not in a Red Bull. He just joined the lobby a bit late. Alice Killer then still leading after the first lap over ZR Mercedes, and Greenwich looking very feisty right behind ZR Mercedes. Maybe he's got a bit of fresher compound. Kingdom Martin and Warlock all in the pits, and I think Robin, he's not actually coming in because he hasn't actually got damage. So not bad at all then for Robin. He's carrying on into P10. Warlock on softs. Kingdom Martin actually going to switch to the ultra soft compound, so a very interesting strategy call from him. But let's see now, into the top 3 we go, and Grangeby actually goes a bit wide there. It's going to allow Caleb Chris to catch up on these 3, but it's so close between these 3. You can see Hasnain was about to say he's very close to Maledictus, who's actually gone AI or something, and he's down to P9, so Hasnain and Maledictus. Hasnain is actually letting Maledictus through, so that's a bit weird. I don't know what happened, but focusing on this battle between the top 4, Tom Killer is dropping back, and look at Caleb Chris is right on the back of Grangeby. This could be absolutely insane battling between these 4. Alex Killer still 6/10 ahead of the Sauber of Zeta Mercedes. Are we going to see any lunges? Are we going to see any dive bombs in the early part of this race? I don't know. I think we will, as people do like to have track position and others. So let's see if Caleb Chris or anyone will go for a move. But these 4 are looking very, very close to each other. Closest gaps we got on this track. Who's the quickest on the track? Not sure, because the fastest lap didn't come up, which is lovely. Tom Killer in the pits then, very early on. He's got wing damage on his left end play. Meanwhile, Robin gets Maledictus, who's still AI. Not sure what the issue is there. Tom Killer on the soft compound, so is Warlock. So these 2 going until about lap 20, I would say, to fit on a set of ultra softs for their 3rd stint. But Zeta Mercedes closing in 4/10 now, the gap between him and Alex Killer. And look at that great exit off turn 10, I believe, and he's now right behind Alex Killer. He's going to go for a move. Yes, he is. Down the inside goes Zeta Mercedes on Alex Killer. Alex Killer loses a lead momentarily, but is he going to get a better exit? They're side by side down the DRS zone. I think Mercedes just snatched the DRS. Yes, he has. Zeta Mercedes with a DRS is going to pull away on the straight, and he's going to defend the lead for the time being. Alex Killer loses the lead of this race, and he's now going to get attacked by Grangeby in all of this. Caleb Chris is right behind him as well, but Zeta Mercedes will now have to pull away, because if Grangeby gets past, Grangeby may have better race pace over Zeta Mercedes. So let's see if tire conserving will come into play, or will they push to the end. Let's see. Grangeby not looking great in the 3rd sector, possibly due to the dirty air, but you can see Zeta Mercedes already 6/10 ahead. Tom Killer now passes Maledictus, but we would like to see a battle between Caleb Chris and Grangeby here, the 2 championship rivals. 11 points between them, and every point matters here. So Caleb Chris very close to him, and Grangeby is very close to Alex Killer. And if the Red Bull gets past Alex Killer, then this could mean that he could pull away and Caleb Chris will fall back. But let's see what happens. TRS has been enabled from the last lap. Grangeby has got a 3-second penalty already, so 3 warnings for him. Don't know how that's happened already. So Grangeby are not keeping it within the white lines. I think he got another warning just there. So let's see Caleb Chris's warnings. He's only got 1. Grangeby has got 4 already, with Zeta Mercedes and Alex Killer not having any. So Grangeby very weird there to get a penalty so early on, but that's definitely going to cost him towards the end of the race. And yeah, the clouds are looking so dark here. We may see a possible rain shower here towards the end. Hello Hugo, how are you doing? Hope you're enjoying the race so far. But yeah, actually Zeta Mercedes is not really pulling away from Alex Killer, just 5.5 tenths between them. So Alex Killer very close to Zeta Mercedes and actually pulling away from Grangeby, as Caleb Chris is losing a bit of ground as well. So tyre deck may be kicking in, they may be tyre conserving, they may have dirty air, but certainly Alex Killer doesn't seem to be affected by dirty air. He's now within 4 tenths of Zeta Mercedes' car, and we could see a move in the DRS straight. Maledictus now moves down to last, as he cannot be able to race. Warlock up into P11. He may be able to catch Robin or King John Martin. He's on the ultra soft, so He's gonna have to push now. Chill Drive with a 3-second penalty. He's in P5. He's taking a lot of positions. Let's see. Yeah, 5 positions for him, and 6 lost for Robin. So Grangebeer stayed in the same position, which is P3, with Vettel, Mercedes and Alex Killer swapping in the top 2. So Alex Killer, I don't think he's going to be going for a move right here on Vettel Mercedes. He's going to even have a look. No, he's not. Grangebeer a bit further back. Calicrest is dropping even further. Is he within DRS? He's just about within the DRS zone. Now he's not, so he's going to have to push to stay within that DRS and try and stay within Grangebeer's side. So he's losing a bit of ground. This is not great. He's going to have to undercut and do more laps on the harder compound, which is not going to help him towards the end. But now Grangebeer has woken up. He's now put the hammer down, probably up into rich mix, and he's now pushing to catch the top 2, sorry. Alice Killer and Grangebeer both on rich mix, while Vettel Mercedes saving a load of fuel. 3 laps of fuel in their tank plus for Vettel Mercedes. So Alice Killer and Grangebeer are gonna have to fuel conserve, especially Grangebeer. Calicrest has got loads of fuel as well, so it could come in handy towards the end of the race. Hasnan in the pits, so the Toro Rosso crew are out to fit a set of super soft, I believe that is. It is indeed. I don't think that's going to take him to the end though. Grangebeer right behind Alex Killer. Is Grangebeer going to go for a move on Alex Killer around the outside in the hairpin? No, he's not. He's going to get a better exit though, and he's going to open the DRS. I don't think Alex Killer has DRS from Vettel Mercedes. He does actually. So on board with Grangebeer. Is he going to go have a look? He's going to have a look, but is he going to dive it down the inside into the hairpin? No, he's not. He's going to brake way earlier, and Calicrest is watching this from a second back, so he's dropped back. He's not within DRS yet, and he sees the top 3 pull away. Alex Killer still in P2. Grangebeer attacking him every single lap. Hasnan picks up a penalty after exiting the pits. Yeah, that was the first real battle between Alex Killer and Grangebeer. So the 2 Belgian drivers are going at it here in USA on lap 6. Grangebeer is still within DRS. This could be a hot spot for an overtake throughout this GP. The first corner, very wide, so you can dive it down and have loads of space. Calicrest now seems to be pushing a bit more within a second now, so this could be DRS for him. Yeah, I think Grangebeer is dropping back from Alex Killer as well, and Calicrest is pulling the gap down to 9/10 now. Alex Killer with a penalty that could be crucial for the end of the race. So both Alex Killer and Grangebeer with a penalty. Vettel Mercedes and Calicrest with very few warnings. Let's see how many exactly. Vettel Mercedes with no warnings. Calicrest with just 1 warning. So great job by these 2 to keep it within the white lines. It's definitely going to come in handy. Both of them have a lot of fuel. Both of them with pretty much no warning. So Grangebeer and Alex Killer with pretty much no fuel and a penalty each. So they're going to have to create a 3-second gap over Calicrest to not lose a position to him. So yeah, gaps are stabilizing. My English. Look at that, literally 8/10 between every car on the top 4. Chill Drive a whole 10 seconds behind them, and now a second behind is Joruru. The next very small gap is Robin and Kingdom Martin. I think Kingdom will pass Robin pretty easily here on the ultra soft tyre, although it's quite worn until now. He did fit it about 6 laps ago. So DRS for him. He's going to try and push now. Warlock with a penalty. He's in P10. Nowhere near the fights for the lead. So every car within the top 4 with DRS, but none of them within 6/10 of each other. Hasnan and Warlock going at it, very close to each other. Can Hasnan get the move done on Warlock Manir? I think these two battled in Japan as well. Can they remake the great battle we had in Japan here? Warlock still defending P10, 1 point for him so far. But let's see if Hasnan can get a better exit of the hairpin and try to pass him with the help of DRS. Warlock goes off the track there. I'm not sure if that was actually a warning. Not sure why he did it. But good exit for both of them. Hasnan with a super soft tyre, Warlock with a soft. Let's see now, Alex Kill in the pits, Kalle Christ in the pits as well. So they're going to drop back. Warlock having to defend from Hasnan for P10 for 1 single point. Hasnan breaks very early. So we're going to switch back to Kalle Christ and Alex Killer. Alex Killer on the super soft tyre, Kalle Christ on the super soft as well. And Alex Killer comes out well ahead of Kalle Christ as imagined. Vettel, Mercedes and Grangeby are carrying on then. So Alex Killer and Kalle Christ are going to have a massive undercut. Kalle Christ on the softs and Alex Killer on the super softs. So especially Alex Killer is going to have a massive undercut on ZR and Grangeby. So this is going to be very, very interesting to see if ZR Mercedes can come ahead of Alex Killer. But as we said, Grangeby is struggling with fuel here, so he's going to have to conserve towards the end. Hasnan and Warlock side by side again, and Warlock again defends very well indeed in the S's. Hasnan cannot get past so far. He's going to have to do it in the DRS straight, I think. Let's see then, can he get a better exit? Is ZR Mercedes and Grangeby going to pit? I think one of them at least will. If ZR Mercedes stays out for another lap, he's definitely going to get jumped by Alex Killer, something that he doesn't want. So ZR Mercedes in the pits inevitably. Grangeby in the pits as well. Hasnan and Warlock very close together. Warlock got a very bad exit, seems like, off the hairpin, and now Hasnan up into P10. So this is it. The round of pit stops is closing with ZR Mercedes and Grangeby in the pits. Let's see where these two are going to come out. ZR Mercedes was P1 and he now comes into the pits. Shield drive in the pits as well. Where is Alex Killer? Is he going to jump him? Yes, he is. Alex Killer in the lead of the USA Grand Prix. You can see him right there. ZR Mercedes loses out. And interestingly, Kalle Christ and Grangeby side by side. They're soft tyres for both of them. As I was about to say, Kalle Christ in the meanwhile jumps Grangeby. So that's huge for him. Grangeby with another penalty there. So that's not gonna help him at all there. So 2 penalties for Grangeby. Kalle Christ goes very wide. Another battle between these two would be amazing. The two championship rivals. Grangeby around the outside into the hairpin. Is Kalle Christ going to defend the position? Around the outside is Grangeby going to go again. Sector 2, we have yellow flags in Sector 2. Shield drive is in the wall. He's lost a bit of his front wing. I cannot talk here. It's all going off in lap 10 in the USA. Grangeby around the outside. Is he going to make it stick on Kalle Christ? Yes, it is. I think Kalle Christ now got moved down to P4. Grangeby down up into P3, sorry. Grangeby down to P4 again. He's going to try and stick it around the outside. Or is he going to make the switch back? I don't think so. He's going to try and stick it around the outside, which doesn't work. Kalle Christ stays in P3. So can finally say that Alex Killer is actually the only one on super soft from this pack. So definitely interesting to see if he can stretch these tires until the end. But this is a battle we have to keep an eye out for. Kalle Christ and Grangeby. The soft tires are not going to be much worn for Kalle Christ, so jumping Grangeby was huge for him. He now has to stay ahead. from Grangebeer, who actually has 2 penalties. So Calichrist with 1 warning. Last time I checked, he still has only 1 warning, so very good. That's definitely gonna gain him a position to Grangebeer, maybe even Vettel Mercedes. If he can stay within 3 seconds of him, Grangebeer could be in trouble here, because I don't think Grangebeer is going to manage anything better than P4 with his 2 penalties, and Calichrist may get P2 of Vettel Mercedes, who's got 1 penalty as well. So Grangebeer DRS again. He doesn't have much straight line speed compared to Calichrist, so Calichrist is going to stay in P3 for now. Grangebeer brakes very late there, puts it down to standard, so he doesn't really need to push. He has to pass Calichrist now though, because that's got 2 penalties. He needs to get 6 seconds on him. He's not going to go for a move there, so preventing an incident from Grangebeer on the Red Bull. So good pace by Grangebeer on the softer tyres. Hasnen and Warlock still in a battle between them. Hasnen locks up a lot into the hairpin, and now these two are side by side again. Hasnen has the inside, Warlock around the outside in turn 15. Let's see if he can make it stick. Yes, he can. Hasnen down to P10, Warlock to P9. So now they're battling for P9 instead of P10. So Calichrist and Grangebeer still so close to each other. Grangebeer needs to get past him. He's got 2 penalties to Calichrist's 1 warning. So Calichrist is going to be the big winner here if Grangebeer doesn't get past. But look at that, he's so close to each other, literally on his diffuser. So Calichrist needs to get a good exit of the hairpin, and here actually, because Grangebeer is so close, I don't think he's going to stay back here. So Calichrist is going to have to defend the inside line, which he does indeed. Grangebeer down the inside, around the outside now. He's not going to make the move stick. Warlock and Hasnen is still going at it, but we have to focus on this battle between the 2 championship rivals. Warlock, I think, has got past for good now. Grangebeer on the DRS, on the slipstream. Rich mix for both of them. Calichrist, he's going to defend the inside line, is he? No, he's not. But Grangebeer doesn't go down the inside either way. So Calichrist stays in P3 for 1 more lap. Grangebeer, he's gonna have his tires worn if he stays in the dirty air, for much longer. So Grangebeer's advantage on the softer tires is gonna be gone if he stays behind Calichrist for a couple more laps. So he needs to get past for multiple reasons. Hasnen again somehow gets past Warlock, so these two keep on swapping positions every lap. Hasnen locks up again into the hairpin, but I don't think Warlock can pass him this time. So Warlock down to P9. They're now battling for P8 as Chill Drive is pitted. Maledictus still AI, so he's gonna finish last in this race. Still very close to each other. Robin in the pits, so the Renault is gonna get rid of these super soft tires. Let's see, Grangebeer still within 3/10 of Calichrist. Very close between these two. 1 mistake by Calichrist and it could be podium over. But let's see then, Robin on the soft tire, he's going to the end. Jarura, very weird line through the S's. Hasnen and Warlock are now going to be battling for P7, so it gets serious here for 6 points, not little. So let's see, Hasnen, very bad exit of the first corner. Warlock can stay in touch until the DRS straight. He could get past him again. Hasnen very all over the place through the S's there. So bad line through there. He's going to compromise his exit for the big straight. Yes, it is indeed. Hasnen, very bad exit off turn 10. Warlock is going to try and go down the inside, then make contact. And now Warlock down the inside is going to break him. Yes, he is. He makes the move stick for now. But I think Warlock's still going to have DRS. And despite Hasnen passing him, I think he's going to have more straight line speed than the Toro Rosso. So we may see a move done. Grangebeer and Calichrist within 3/10 of each other still. We're going to have to switch that battle as soon as this one is over. Warlock down the inside and up into P7, down to P8 again, as he's going to try and go around the outside again. Hasnen defense very well, but Warlock switchback McGee off of that corner. So very nice move there, but he's still going to have to stay in P8 as Robin is watching all of this. hoping that these two lose even more time, but let's just quickly check. Nothing's going on there. Warlock down around the outside in turn 17. He's going to make his stick. I don't think he is. Turn 18, sorry. And out into the last corner, turn 19. He's going to make his stick. Warlock down the inside, into P7. So very good move from him. Is Hasnain going to go down the inside again? Warlock, is he going to defend the inside line? No, he's not. Hasnain doesn't bother going for a move, so he's going to stick behind him. And if these two keep on battling for a bit longer, Robin is going to pass them both, so they have to watch out. Hasnain and Robin both getting a warning. Robin getting a penalty because of that. Grangeby and Calicre still very close to each other. No position changes though. 3 seconds between the top two. So that's very close as well. Childra with another penalty. Hasnain right behind Warlock. Isn't going to try and go for a move. No, he's not. Robin now down the inside. That came out of nowhere. I didn't see that one coming. So Kingdom Martin actually retiring there. He's had enough. He was in the point, but for some reason he retired. Look at that. 3 cars within 2/10 of each other. Warlock has to defend from 2 people. Robin with a DRS. Robin around the outside. Warlock down the inside. Is going to try and defend the position. I think he is. Contact between the two of them. Robin doesn't go down the inside. Warlock stays in P7 for one more corner. Is Robin going to try and go down the inside? Yes, he is. Not quite sticking it in there. So Hasnain needs to get a move on here. They're all going to have to pit one more time. Obviously, Grangebeer with another penalty. He's now got 3 penalties. It's all over for Grangebeer. There's no way he can make up 9 seconds on Calicre. He's still behind him. But let's see then. Yellow flag somewhere. It's all kicking off here. Warlock off the track. Robin almost off the track there. These 3 are within 5/10 of each other. Warlock is going to try and defend the inside line. Robin up into P7 momentarily. Warlock around the outside yet again in this race. And yet again he's going to defend P7. Down to P8 he goes again. These two keep on switching positions side by side into the S's. This is definitely going to be a crash, and indeed it is. Warlock is in the wall. Warlock is out of the session. And Warlock DNFs after another crash in another race. So it's all gone badly for the Ferrari. The other Ferrari is leading the race though. So Robin out of all of that. P7, Hasnain in P8. So 2 DNFers so far, Kingdom Martin and Warlock. Grangebeer still within 3/10 of Calicre, but it doesn't seem to be able to get past. Even with the use of DRS here. So probably high aero from Grangebeer, meaning that he'll gonna have to pass in the corners and not the straights. Still 13 laps left in this race. Pretty much everyone will have to stop again. Big question is Alex Killer gonna be able to go to the end? He doesn't need to stay ahead of Vettel Mercedes because Vettel has got a penalty and Alex Killer doesn't. Oh, he does? How did that happen? He's got 2 penalties actually, he's just got 1. So 2 penalties for him, no penalties. Okay, I'll mix that up. So Alex Killer has the penalty and Vettel Mercedes doesn't. So Vettel Mercedes is net leading this race with Grangebeer having 3 penalties, Calicre with none, Vettel Mercedes with none, and Alex Killer with 1. So a load of penalties in the top 4. Just had a comment, so let's see it. Nice DNF. Yeah, Lakitu loves a good DNF here. Hopefully doesn't do it in F1. Grangebeer down the inside on Alex Killer. Grangebeer up into P3. Calicre is going to go down the inside into this right-hander. He defends the position for now. And he actually defends P3 again. So Grangebeer not able to pass Calicre. Very good opportunity there. Very cheeky move down the inside in turn 15. But it didn't quite work out for him. He's gonna now put it up into rich mix. Calicre still has way more fuel than Grangebeer. Vettel Mercedes has a bit more fuel as well. Alex Killer has 0.4, so not good with 12 laps to go. Can only go on rich mix for about 2 laps, so not gonna help him at all in the straights. Grangebeer is gonna have to use his rich mix in places that he feels like he can get past Calichrist. Such as this one, look at this, great exit by Grangebeer. Calichrist boxed down on the exit, is now 2 tenths behind him. Is Grangebeer gonna go for a move? No, he's not. Calichrist stays ahead after the hairpin, but now here comes the DRS. 1.5 kilometers straight, pretty big straight here in USA. Is Grangebeer gonna go for a move on the second sector? Calichrist defends the inside line. Grangebeer doesn't even have a look for some reason, so he's looking for a different place to pass him. I think Calichrist is gonna have to watch out here on the next corner where Grangebeer tried to pass him on the previous lap. Is Grangebeer going to do the same? No, he's not. He's way too far back. Calichrist goes very wide though, and Grangebeer could be getting up to P3. No, he's not, because Calichrist gets the way better exit. Grangebeer going to go down the inside. Very bold move by him. Is Calichrist going to stick hitting P3 for another lap? I don't think he is, because Grangebeer gets a very good exit off the penultimate corner. Grangebeer down the inside. Can he pass him? No, he cannot. Calichrist gets the better exit yet again. So Grangebeer again stays behind Calichrist, but 1.5 tenths between them. Grangebeer could be going for a move. No, he's not. Calichrist stays ahead, defends the inside line. So very good and clean defending by Calichrist. Very efficient here. So Grangebeer cannot get past for another lap. 11 laps to go. Grangebeer is gonna have to pass Calichrist and get 9 seconds on him, which pretty much seems impossible here. So Calichrist has a very good chance to get P3, and Grangebeer getting P4. So that would be 3 points on Grangebeer, which would mean into Mexico these two are going to be separated by 8 points. But this is not over. Still 10.5 laps left. Hasn't in the pits, and 10 runners still in this race. So anyone that finishes except Maledicted is going to get points. See if Chill Drive can get past Hasnin. Chill Drive around the final corner. Hasnin is gonna stay ahead of him. As you can see there, Hasnin off the pit lane. So you've got one viewer. Lovely. Who is that one viewer? Alice Killer with a penalty now. So another penalty to add to Alice Killer's collection. Definitely won't be happy to see that. 3 penalties now for Alice Killer, puts him equal with Grangebeer, who's still right behind Calichrist. He needs to get past ASAP with 10 laps to go. So Alice Killer in the pits. He couldn't go to the end, so he didn't. Tom Killer in the pits as well. That's going to mean Toruru is going to pass him, maybe Robin, but we'll have to see Alice Killer on the ultra soft. So this is going to be interesting, because Alice Killer is only 10.5 seconds behind Grangebeer and Calichrist, who are continuously battling. So if Alice Killer catches these two, it could be a 3-way battle for second place. Vettel Mercedes meanwhile is on for his 5th race victory of the season. Guess who that one viewer is? Well, I would imagine it's Lakitu, right? So what do you think, Lakitu? Who's going to win this race? Who's going to get, well, P2 probably, because we know Vettel Mercedes has a very good chance with no penalties to win this race. So who do you think will get P2 in this race? Alice Killer just pitted on fresh ultra softs, catching Calichrist and Grangebeer, who are keep on battling every lap. So this is going to get very tense. You can see already a second gain on this lap by Alice Killer. He needs to push. He's got 9 laps to catch them and 9 seconds. So Alice Killer with another penalty, and that is pretty much game over him. So we jinxed it. 4 penalties now for Alice Killer, and that's 12 seconds. So it's pretty much guaranteed that without a mistake, Calichrist is gonna get P2 with Grangebeer in P3 despite his 3 penalties. So that's pretty much my question answered. Chill Drive down to P9. It was looking good indeed in P5 at the start of the race, but Maledictus has now left the session, as Grangeby are very close to Calicrest. He's running out of laps and he's gonna have to get past him and make a 9th. Yeah, Callis pretty much got it indeed, like E2. Grangeby is gonna have to make a 9-second gap. Let's see, yellow flags in sector 3. Yep, great. Can someone tell me how the actual stream is looking? Is it like laggy? Is it good quality? I've got good new internet this week and I'm not sure if it is still laggy. But let's see. Grangeby is still in the back of Calicrest. Alex Killer now got 2 seconds on Grangeby, so he could possibly pass Grangeby, but definitely not Calicrest without a mistake from him. Alice Killer inevitably does the quickest lap of the race. Key to the moderator. Lol. I just get some nice shots as we cannot be asked to commentate. There's really almost no point now for Grangeby, as he's only got 8 laps. Lovely helicopter cam there. Not too bad. Viewing this battle within the two championship rivals. Unfortunately, Grangeby's got a loads of penalties, which are going to drop him in P3. So Calicrest probably going to get P2 here if you just tuned in. But still, it will be very nice to see a battle between them. Calicrest probably doesn't know that Grangeby has got more penalties, so he's still gonna battle to the end. Let's see if Grangeby is gonna go for a move in this lap. 7 laps to go. Asnen picks up another penalty. A lot of penalties in this race generally, so people struggling to keep it within the racetrack. Oh my god, Grangeby with another penalty. You saw that there, corner cut by him meant that it's another 3 seconds added to his race time, and there's pretty much no point. He knows it as well. There's pretty much no point fighting Calicrest, because he has to stay ahead of Alice Killer. They're both equal on penalties, and look at that, Alice Killer 4 seconds behind him. Grangeby needs to get past Calicrest for a different reason now. Is to stay ahead of Alice Killer, who's charging down on him. Tom Killer in P6 with a penalty. After this race is just 75 points on the table. Grangeby down the inside. Is he going to make his stick? Finally he is. Grangeby up into P2, and now Alice Killer has to negotiate another car between him and Grangeby. Grangeby and Alice Killer equal on penalties. Calicrest doesn't need to worry, but I'm not sure if he knows himself that Grangeby has 4 penalties. If he knew that, I'm sure he wouldn't push that much, but if he doesn't, then he's probably gonna try and stay ahead of him. So let's see, Alice Killer 2.8 behind these two. Calicrest down the inside and they both make contact. Grangeby goes to a half spin. Is Calicrest going to let him through? No, he's not. Calicrest up into P2, very feisty between them. Calicrest lets him through, I think it is indeed. Grangeby up into P2. Is Calicrest going to go for a move on a different place? He clearly doesn't know that Grangeby got 4 penalties. Otherwise he wouldn't be trying so hard. Calicrest there got a warning, I believe. No, he's not. So That's interesting. That was a big corner car. He's still got only one warning from lap 4. Alex Giller is now within sight. 1.5 between him and Kalle Christ, who's charging down to Grenadiers inside in this corner. Let's see, both of them with the same amount of fuel. Alex Giller with a bit less. Well, ZR Mercedes is cruising to the victory. But yeah, Kalle Christ is pretty much secured second place if he doesn't make contact or crash with anyone or makes a mistake himself. He's got a 12-second buffer to Grenadier. Let's see, it's gonna get interesting with Alex Giller coming as well. I don't think Kalle Christ is gonna know that Alex Giller's got many penalties either, so if Kalle Christ pushes a bit too much, trying to stay ahead of these two, he may get caught up in an incident, which hopefully won't happen. You can see Alex Giller 6 tenths between him and Kalle Christ, sorry. Kalle Christ 5 tenths between him and Grenadier. So Alex Giller is definitely going to have DRS. He has to get past very quickly as his tire's going to go off in a bit. His main rival right now is Grenadier with the same amount of penalties as him. So Alex Giller then, very good exit of this corner. He's going to go down the inside of Kalle Christ. He looks for A, brakes very, very late compared to the Toro Rosso. But let's see now, right behind him, he's probably going to go for a move and he's probably going to cruise past the Toro Rosso of Kalle Christ. Is Kalle Christ going to defend? And it seems like Kalle Christ got about the same amount of speed as the Ferrari. So Alex Giller doesn't actually, oh my goodness, that's another penalty for Alex Giller. I mean, that's deserved. That was a huge corner cut. I think he's going to go down the inside of Kalle Christ. No, he's not. He changes to the outside, so that's a bit weird. Kalle Christ tries everything he can to stay ahead of Alex Giller, although he's got 15 seconds less time 15 seconds less time added to his race time, but he doesn't know that and he wants to stay ahead of Alex Giller, who's pretty much lost the fight for the podium here as Grangebeer pulls away. And Alex Giller and Kalle Christ gonna have P2 pretty easily here. All we need here is a good battle between these two, as it's not going to change anything in the finishing positions. Oh, and a bit of contact there sends Alex Giller into the wall, and that's the Ferrari M-Play traveling across the circuit there. So Alex Giller losing so much time and a bit of his front wing, and still I don't think that's going to affect the finishing positions. But Alex Giller a bit impatient there, misunderstood the gap he had to Kalle Christ and the actual speed he had on Kalle Christ there. So he's lost a heap of time and a bit of his front wing, which means it's well and truly over for the podium for the Belgian driver. Tom Giller though, Tom Giller and Joruru very close to each other. Let's see the penalties between these two. I believe Tom Giller has a couple of them, only one. Joruru with one as well, so this is a battle on track. I think Tom Giller's on the quickest tyre, he is indeed, so I think it's going to be no bother to stay ahead of Joruru for 3 more laps. But yeah, that's pretty much the battle's over. We've had this race, long race battle between the two championship rivals, so we cannot complain about that. It's going to be 3 points gained on the championship from Kalle Christ to Grangebeer, so the gap in Mexico will be down to just 8 points between the rivals. So just a titanic battle here between these two, which we love to see keep on going. Hello Falcon. Oh, this is spicy for the championship. Mercedes comeback. A Mercedes comeback. Not sure what you're on about there. But Giroud with another penalty. It is spicy for the championship, but I don't see any Mercedes comebacks. Oh, you mean Mercedes? I mean, oh yeah. Yeah, it is a Mercedes comeback. He's gonna get 7 points on Calaquist and 10 points on Grangebeer. He does need to get a few more though, if he wants to stay within the fight until the last race. But yeah, I thought you meant the team Mercedes. So a little bit of brain fart there from me. 2 laps to go. Mercedes is on to win his 5th race of the season, with Calaquist securing P2, Grangebeer in P3, Alice Killer in P4, Tom Killer 5th, Giroud 6th, Robin in 7th, Hasden in 8th, Shield Drive lapped in 9th with 3 pit stops made this race. New mistakes by Zeta Mercedes, something we didn't see in Japan. We saw a very crucial mistake costing him so many points on the championship fight. He could have been well in it right now, but it's still not too far away. So we're still gonna have to keep an eye out for him, as we're just waiting for the race to finish pretty much. Nothing going on, as you can see. May as well ride on board with our race leader, Zeta Mercedes, who, if you didn't know, joined F2 very late, in about Canada time, and he managed to put himself up into P3 in the championship, and within a shout of actually being crowned the F2 champion. Which if he actually did, it would be an amazing achievement by the Sauber driver. Certainly if he hadn't left, or if he hadn't got promoted to F2, he would certainly win the F3 championship, which I think Billy has done in this race, as it was inevitable. Hungry Tadpoles hadn't turned up, I don't think, and Billy only needed P6 in this race. So you can tell he's got a humongous gap in the championship. So yeah, I think we're gonna crown an F3 champion today. We could crown an F1 champion today if I get 15 points on ERL Falcon. So yeah, Zeta does indeed deserve to go in F1, John, and that's probably going to happen next season, but for now he has to focus on the battle in F2. He's well and truly in the championship fight. He's now going to start his final lap of this race. Oh, he's actually in the final lap. My bad. Zeta Mercedes wins the 5th race of the season. His 5th race victory in this season. Grangebeer comes home in P3. Calaquist gets P2 in the end, with Alice Giller finishing P4 after getting a very surprising pole position in USA. So very good effort from him. Another 12 points added to his tally. I think he's pretty close to Tom Killer now, who finishes just behind him in P5. Choruru is gonna come home in P6 on his ass, with Robin in P7, Hasden in P8, and Shield Drive finishing a lap down in P9. So I think some people are gonna be frustrated out of that race. I think some people are gonna be very happy after this race, such as Calaquist and Zeta Mercedes, getting another race that they are finishing ahead of Grangebeer. So very nice race from the F2 drivers yet again. Hasnin is finishing his race in P8 as well, 4 points for him. So Alice Killer seems to be very frustrated with Kalle Christ. Not exactly remember why. Apparently Kalle Christ brake checked Alice Killer. Hello John. Have two Johns in the chat. Yeah, Chill Drive lost 5th place on that second stint. But we'll see. Kalle Christ was a bit feisty in this race, went for a few dive bombs on Cap Grangebeer, and apparently brake checked Alice Killer, which I don't remember him doing. Podium celebrations with no sound here. Vettel Mercedes then victorious for the 5th time this season in F2. I think a couple more in F3 as well. So here are your official round 17 results. 3rd, 4th and 5th Belgian drivers, Grangebeer, Alice Killer and Tom Killer. So as we said, Kalle Christ into Mexico, only 8 points behind Grangebeer. So give me 1 second to invite the top 3. Thank you, John. I quite enjoy commentating, to be honest. So hello Grangebeer. Hello Vettel Mercedes.
Hello.
And hello Kalle Christ. So I'm not joined by Johnny today, so we're not gonna have these questions. So it's all down to me in the chat to ask questions. So chat, if you have any questions for our podium finishers, please leave them down in the comments. So starting with Vettel Mercedes, your 5th race win of the season. Your streak is back on after the incidents in Japan. So I'm not exactly sure how many points you are behind the top 2 now, but you are very close, about 20 points. So do you think the championship is still alive, and what are your hopes for Mexico?
Mexico, I think one of my favourites. Keep pushing, still a few races left, anything can happen, so take it from there really.
Right, so confidence heading into Mexico by Zeta. Pretty quiet race for you. After the second stint you had some battles in the first one. Alice Killer jumped you after the first stint, but then he had to pit again obviously to go on ultra soft tires. So very good race from you, very good strategy to go on the soft tires. So 5th race win for you. Kalle Christ 2nd place, no penalties for either of the top 2. I think you were the only 2 people to actually get a single penalty, so well done for that. So Kalle Christ, P2, you get another 3 points obviously on Grangebeer, so 8 points heading into Mexico. I don't need to ask you if your title hopes are still alive, because they well and truly are.
Yeah.
But what are your hopes for Mexico? Are you Are you quick around there? Are you feeling confident?
I have no idea.
No idea. Alright, I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna have to see on the race day itself, which is just in 1 week.
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to ask Greenwich if he's feeling confident heading into Mexico, if it's one of his favorite tracks. Oh, interesting. So are we gonna see you in the podium next week as well? Okay. So pretty much all the questions we have. Pretty quiet race after the second stint, but the top four were just so close on the first one. Another question for Calichrist and Grinchbeer. What were you thinking when you were battling Calichrist? Did you know that Grinchbeer had so many penalties? No, okay. Yeah, because so you going for some moves? We didn't really have to, 12 seconds he had, so I thought you didn't knew at the time. Oh, okay. So you were not. Okay. So Grinchbeer, were you just frustrated after a bit because you had to get past Calichrist quite early on, and after getting stuck behind him for good 10 laps or 15 laps, you finally got past. Yeah, that was obviously not enough. Yeah, but didn't actually. Yeah, many penalties costed you P2 there. Did see Alice Killer as well, corner cutting so many corners. I'm not sure why. Don't usually see. Yeah, I mean, Alice Killer always corner cuts, to be honest. Not that much, but quite a bit. Grangebeer, you don't really corner cut, so yeah, was quite surprised to actually see you getting 4 penalties today in such a tight battle. But I think that's all the questions. Actually, Lakito has one. Zeta, that's going for you. When will you come to F1 and give Mike and Falcon some competition? Yeah, I think we're gonna indeed see you next season. So
hopefully I can give you a fight, so
yeah, hopefully. But we'll see. Talking about that, don't forget tune in. Hopefully we're gonna have a commentator finally today. Could be a championship decider with 61 points between myself and Falcon, but tune in 1 hour and 10 minutes in ERL commentary hub, and for F2 we'll see you next week in Mexico. Bye bye.